In a time of economic growth within the heart of Salem, amidst prosperity and change, stood a figure whose legacy straddles the line between tradition and progress. Elias Vogler, a name synonymous with unity and controversy, was a man who dared to play both sides in an era divided during his term as the foremost mayor of integrated Salem. A member of the esteemed Vogler family, he was able to garner the support of the Moravian as well as the Black communities by demonstrating his dedication to advancing the interests of the Black community. Elias Vogler was born the son of John Vogler and Christina Spock in 1825. He entered the world as the son of a significant Moravian family within the growing Salem community. His father moved to Salem sometime before 1803, marrying his mother in 1819, and having him along with his siblings Maria and Louisa. John Vogler trained as a gunsmith, silversmith, and watchmaker during his time as an apprentice to his uncle, Christopher Vogler. He passed this knowledge on to Elias, who worked with him as a business partner, eventually transitioning into a merchant.
The Vogler family, they're just one of the prominent families around Salem, right? And it's not an official title, it's not an unofficial one, but what that means is they're known. And to be known in Salem is a big deal because of the economic powerhouse that it is. And so for the Voglers, they're known for two reasons. One, they're breaking the rules often, and two, they're making the church and themselves a fair deal of money.
The Vogler family were significant contributors to the early 19th century transformations within Salem, specifically in the area's growing industrialization and culture. As younger Moravians became incorporated into the community, traditional Moravian values faded. Instead, most members of the younger generation prioritized financial and economic success, leading to a newfound dependence on enslaved labor. Without exception, the Voglers accepted this practice and enslaved a 17-year-old woman named Bethy. Additionally, Elias's brother-in-law, Francis Fries, was a leading slave owner in Salem, running a mill through slave labor. The Voglers, significant to Salem's mercantile prosperity, navigated the complexities of a community transitioning to industrialization amidst embracing the contentious practice of slavery. But during economic flourish and societal shifts, Elias Vogler's story took a different path.
Elias Vogler differs from the rest of his family primarily in his temperament. The gentleman is an artist, and he doesn't quite fit in with the very industrial group of folks he's born into. These guys are trades folks, and trades folks at the time, you have to understand, are what we would think of now as like stockbrokers, people who wear suits to work, those sorts of things. For Elias, just like now, as an artist, he is very different than those group of people. More than that, though, Elias just always has a tendency to bend towards charity. He has a tendency to want to advocate for folks, whether that's the larger community of Salem or even those pushed to the outside. And his family does not want to do that.
Elected as mayor for his name and standing, rather than personal wealth, Elias's political election was not just a position, but a mission. With roots embedded in a Moravian education from the prestigious Pennsylvania boarding school, Letitz, Vogler embarked on initiatives that challenged the norms of his community in Salem, specifically a genuine investment in the African American population. His tenure as mayor saw support for the Black community, from funding efforts for the first Black Quaker school to safeguarding lands for free men against the intrusions of modernization. Vogler's actions spoke of a vision far beyond his time.
Well, Elias Vogler's term as mayor helps see, or at least that era, helps see the beginning of Happy Hills, right? One of the more historic African-American communities in Winston-Salem. It also helps sort of push education for those outside of the sphere of the Moravians. Moravians have been educating folks for a long time, but he helps the funding of a Quaker school, right, primarily meant for African-American folks just outside of town. So those things have lasting impact.
But what drove a man of such stature to defy prevailing racism? Was it a secret kinship with Bethy, a slave believed to be his sister, or a moral compass guided by education and nobility? The speculation about a familial connection between Bethy and Elias has been a significant narrative, driving curiosity about Elias's unwavering dedication to the black community. Beyond their relationship, there's limited evidence to explain his actions, leading to questions as to what shaped his perspective and motivated his initiatives.
Professionally, there is no good reason I have found other than he cares, which is valuable. We speculate a lot as historians, especially when it's people that we like or people that we want to be nice. We're often rooting for people who we want to be heroes. Elias Vogler, though, gives very little reason to view him as not a hero. He is an enslaver. It's not to excuse it, but he is doing an unprecedented amount of advocacy for the African American community, even still. And in about the 1870s, the person we know he's enslaving is a lady he grew up around constantly, a woman named Patience. So, the fact that he takes Patience in, it's not to make it a glowing endorsement of enslavement, but that's its own kind of tidbit. And like professionally, it just seems like he cares actually, not that people are making him a hero, that he just wanted to do the right thing. Personally, I'll tell you, while there is some speculation that Elias Vogler is linked somehow to Bethy, the woman who's also enslaved by his father, and the daughter of Patience, the woman first enslaved by his father when he's born, there is suspicion by some that they are half-siblings. That is a huge claim to make, but there's suspicion by some that they are.
Despite considerable speculation, Elias Vogler's motivations remained a blend of familial ties, cultural shifts, and personal convictions. A man not driven by wealth, but by profound commitment to his community.
The one thing I tell people to take away from Elias Vogler's story is that as much as you can be remembered for owning a lot of things, and as much as you can be remembered for having a ton of power or wealth or pedigree attached to your name, a legacy of true service and a genuine desire to uplift community also lasts. Like, we're still talking about this guy. The one thing I leave people with is look at Elias Vogler and question yourself. Like, what would you rather leave? And what's valuable to leave behind?
Elias Vogler's legacy, marked by courage and leadership, challenges us to reflect on the power of individual action in the face of societal norms. As Salem remembers him, we wonder who we remember and why. Elias Vogler stands as a testament to the complexity of human character, highlighted by his desire for justice and equality.